Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to connect to the Adobe Dreamweaver Creative Cloud. You do not have to purchase a copy for yourself. The first time you do it, it's going to be a little bit different. I've already set it up on Dreamweaver 2020, so I don't have to go through it. Watch the video on how to go to Dreamweaver 2019, and it will take you step by step. The process is identical. So we're going to click on Applications, which I'm actually in. Normally you're going to see, and it'll have Microsoft Applications and Adobe, but because I'm already in it, it's taking me right to the Adobe Applications, and you're going to go to Dreamweaver 2020. So remember, the first time that you do this, it's going to make you log in. Then it's going to redirect you to the Barry website. Then it's going to make you log in there. And it's going to probably send a two-factor authentication where you'll have to do a text. It may ask you, and it may not. It asks me because I have a enterprise account through Barry. You do not, so it probably will not ask you that. But if it does, just choose school or organization. So here we have a brand new template up here. And we have desktop, we have this PC. Now remember, you are working off of Barry's server, not your own computer. So anything you save is going to be on Barry's server. You're going to be saving everything in the S drive. Now, you're going to have more drives than I do. You'll have a whole bunch of them. You're going to choose the one that says S. So I'm going to click on this here. And these are all the sites that I've already created. So I'm going to create a brand new site. So it's really very easy to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on Site. And I want a new site. So I'm going to name the site, and you can name it whatever you want. I'll just type it IT338 first. Make sure that I don't have that already in there. And it's going to ask me, where do I want the local site folder? This is very, very important. Make sure that you click on the Browse to Folder. And remember, you will not have access to any of this stuff. This is on Barry's server. So you're going to click on this PC, and you will have an S drive in here. Then you're going to click on that, and you're going to see all of these things here. So now I need to create a new folder in here. So I'll just click on New Folder. And I'll call it IT338 first in here. This has nothing to do with the site name. I'm going to click on Select Folder, and we're going to go to Advanced Settings. What you're going to want to do is click on Files and things so you can see where different things go. So the default images folder, this is very important. Always do this. Now, don't worry about it when a book doesn't tell you to do that. It will teach you about that about halfway through the first project. But with your default images folder, you always want to have it in images. So you're going to have to physically create an images folder. Now, when you're doing things, just like in Visual C++, you're going to want to keep everything all lowercase. Now, you don't have to worry about camel case or anything like that. Everything, 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 all folders, all files, everything that you create needs to be in lowercase. And the reason being is, depending upon the server you're on, it could be case sensitive. So if you're in the habit of putting some capital letters here and there, and then you try to go to it, if you don't have it spelled correctly, it's not going to work. So if you have everything lowercase, then it's going to be very easy for you. So we're just going to click on images and select folder. What that'll do for you, anytime you download an image to the site, it will automatically be put in this folder instead of whatever that you're physically in. I'm going to go over cloaking with you later on, but you're definitely going to want to cloak your files, and you can pretty much leave all this rest of this stuff alone for right now. So now we're creating a site, and it has absolutely nothing. Now notice that we have a site folder, root folder here, and then this is images. Every time you create something, you'll probably have to go down here and refresh it. So I don't want to mess around right now, so I'm going to go and click on Create New. Now there is a way to get rid of this so this doesn't pop up every single time. So in this particular case, we'll click on Create New, which would be the same thing as File and New. So this is very important. You should automatically get HTML and HTML5. That should automatically be. So you can just choose that default. If for some reason it's not, just choose HTML5. And you don't really need to worry about this because you would have to have the full-blown version of Photoshop in order to use this option. So when we get to the one that does that, there's an alternate assignment that the PDF that you can do that will bypass all that. So we're going to click on Create. So now you have absolutely nothing in here. So it's created a blank document. So we have code view, we have split view, and we have live view, and we have these annoying videos that keep popping up. So notice that I'm just going to go into live, and we have absolutely nothing here. The reason being is we don't have anything typed in. So you don't need to worry too much about the doc.top HTML. This tag here pairs with this tag here. The head and the head here, this is where your title goes. Don't worry about this over here. This is going to be the title of your document. So there'll be different ways to change that. Nothing in here is going to show up, but you can insert meta tags and you can insert descriptions and a whole bunch of things in here. So what I'm going to do here is deviate a little bit, and I'm just going to type in the word hi. Then I'm going to hit the enter key and type in there. Then I'm going to go into live, and something strange should happen. And notice that it is hi there is on the same page. And if you don't like the live, go into design. And the reason being is there is no tag in here that tells it to end the paragraph. So what I'm going to do here, so let's go into code, let's do the split. So notice we have hi there. Now watch, as soon as I hit the enter key, it put in a P tag here and a closing P tag. That means it's a paragraph in here, a whole sentence in here, just like in Microsoft Word when you hit the enter key. So now I'm going to hit the enter key again, and notice what happens. It put in a P tag, opening and closing, and an NBSP. That's a non-breaking space. So if I'm in here and I type in hi again, the non-breaking space will disappear. Notice it's disappear. But now I want to put hi there on a separate line. So what I can do, if I want it to be part of the same paragraph, just like in Microsoft Word, I can do Shift Enter. And notice that it puts in a BR. That means go to the next line, but keep the same paragraph in here. So let's go back to design here. And notice that we have hi there. I don't know where the there is. So let me go back in here. And apparently I never typed there. That would make sense why it's not there. So let's go into design. And there's your hi there. Now, let me do some housekeeping. When you first go up. You're not going to see these things here, and you may or may not have to change it every time you go back in. So first thing you want to do is click on Tools. And these are all the things that are available for you to go in here. And you're going to learn about each and every one of these things in here. So here is Edit. And these are your cut, copy, paste, and all of those other things in here. Here is information about your site. Here is your windows. You know, again, there's more tools in here that you can do. Here is File in here, New, Open Recent. Here is Edit, and it gives you all these different things. So if you want to open up a window that's not there, you can go to Window, and you can choose on anything. Now notice that DOM is there, Files is there. And you can see that CC Libraries, Insert, CC Designer are there because it's part of the files. If I click on Files here, things kind of change. So you can see that just the DOM is there, and it's not the actual files. So we're going to go back and get that back, and we'll click on Files. And now you can see your file. You always need to have your files in here. Now, if you don't like this DOM and assets, you're going to be using the DOM. You're going to be using the assets in there. When you'll see that more in the later videos in there, and when you start working through the project. So now let's go back to Window, and let's go to Toolbars. We want to have, you have automatic is Document and Common. So if you click on the document, that goes away. So let's open up there and open up the document. So you definitely want to keep on the document here, and then you really want standard. So let's go and add that, and notice it kind of put it on top, so we can drag it till you see it's going to either be a little blue line or a green line, because we want it below. So there's the blue line. So now here is your new, your open. This is save the current file. Now, how do I know we haven't saved it already? There's two things. One, this is not grayed out, but there's a little asterisk there. And here is Save All. So if you have a whole bunch of them open, then you can save them all at one time. So let's save this here. And notice that we have Untitled in here. So we'll just call it Index, which is what you need to always call your home page. So for right now, we have an index file. Normal housekeeping in when you're doing a website, you're going to put everything in a folder. So the only thing that should be in your root directory is index. So if you have an about page, you should have about folder and then the page inside of that. If you have a services page, it should be in there. When you do JavaScript, you're going to have something that's JS, which we actually created for you automatically. This over here is a shortcut for you to upload to a server. We don't have a server connected. There is some other things that you can do to make it neat as well. So you can customize it to do it as well. You're going to see that there's also an option that we can set up where you can format your code in there, make it line up really nice and peachy keen, so you don't have to worry about that. So as you're doing things, it's very simple. So if I want to insert a picture, so we just insert it down here. You're basically going to go to Insert an Image. You're going to browse to the image. There's no images anywhere. Let's see if there's anything in pictures we can put. There's nothing in pictures. So what you would need to do is you would have to find one, put it in the site, and that you could do it. Let's see if there's anything in desktop. So it doesn't look like there's anything in here that we can actually use in there. But it's basically the same thing. So insert image, and you'll learn more about all of these things in here as we progress. An unordered list is just bullets, and ordered list is numbers in here. So you don't have to worry about that. And you're going to have tables. Headings are just, you have your H1, H2. You're going to learn more about those tags as well. So then you can see over here how it's organized. If you click this plus sign here, it lets you insert something before, after, and a child. So there's all kinds of things that you can do to manipulate. So you notice that we have the BR tag in here. So this is kind of like a snapshot of your program or your file and how it's organized in here. So this is very nice. And you can actually drag these things up and move them if you want. So I'm not going to do that now, but that will be a thing. So see the green bar? Notice that it moved everything up in here. So that takes care of that. Different things for split. I like split, but I don't like it on the bottom. So the way you fix that is, and again, it's your preference. I like to have the design view on the right and the code view on the left. So I'm going to go to view and I'm going to go to split, and notice that it says split horizontally. So I'm going to change it to split vertically. And now I don't want the code on the right, so I'm going to go back to view and I'm going to go to split, and this time I'm going to choose design view on the left. I'm going to get rid of that, and that switches it off over here. So we're going to click on plain design, and that lets me do my designing here. And if I wanted to see a live view of it, I can, which you're going to see. There's more features and more things that you can do in live view, but there's also easier way of doing things in design view. I kind of program in probably 50-50 between live and design, but I also program a lot in code. So you'll see that as we go by. So now we need to save the document. Notice that we have a little asterisk here. So once I click on it, the asterisk is gone and this gets grayed out. And then I have, of course, my cut, my copy, and things over here. So you're going to, again, learn. If you don't like to use the insert here, you can use insert over here, and that gives you a ton of things. So if you hit the drop down, it's going to let you do forms, bootstrap. So for right now, we just want to do HTML. So you can see you can do an image here, you can do the P tag, you can do a heading, a table, figure, unordered list in here. One other thing that you definitely want is your properties. So we're going to click on Window, and we're going to find Properties, which is right here. And it gives you information about what's going on. Now, you don't want it sitting in the middle, so what you need to do is drag it down till you get either a blue or green line at the bottom. You need to take it slow, and it'll eventually get there. There's our blue line. So now here's our properties. So right now we have nothing going on. So I'm going to click on Hi There. And now look what happens. We have the format as a paragraph. We have ID. We have all kinds of things. If I want to make it bold, I can make it bold. If I want to make it italic, I can make it italic. And here is bullets. And here is numbering. Here is the title of our document. So let's just call it IT 338 homepage. And let me click on Enter. And let's go to Code View. And look what it did. It put it up here on here. I go, oh man, I wanted to put a dash between IT and 338. So I'm just going to click a little dash here. And now notice this kind of disappeared. So just click on Refresh. And it put it over here. And you can change it down here, which will change it up here. Then when you're done, save it. And that'll make it very simple for you to do. So here's our files. This is going to give you, if you have a server in here, you'll have an option of whether you want local files, remote files, or both, and you can drag and drop them until we get our servers sites set up. Do It is working on that. You're going to have to save everything on the Berry web. in here. You're actually going to save everything on the Barry Web anyway, but you're going to upload it from here. And the way you'll do it, you'll just click on the site and you can upload the entire site in here. So that's kind of a quick and dirty way of doing a home page in here. If I wanted to make high bold, which I really don't want you to do it this way, you can click on the B here and it's going to put in a tag for you. Notice it says strong and not B. So the reason why is you're going to use strong, and for italic you're going to use embossed. And where you find those, let's just go into a few settings. There's a whole video on the different settings, and you can see the things that you want. So if you didn't want the start screen when you first did it, just get rid of the check mark here. If you want your documents opened at startup, the ones that were open, just do this. You know, again, I would leave all these here, but the start screen, that's kind of optional over here. You know, again, when we do templates, you'll learn about editable regions. Yes, you want to use strong and M instead of B and I. So, you know, we'll go over all of these things in here as well. So accessibility, code film art, you have all these different things. So you can change the tab size if you want. Leave all this stuff alone in here. And I will go over a whole bunch of stuff in here. Now, again, I'm going to check this in here, and I'll show you why. So let me leave it unchecked, and then I'll show you why I think it's best to check it. So let's just click on apply. I don't think I changed anything. And eventually it will close. So now what I want to do here is I'm going to create a P tag. I want to manually type in a paragraph. So I put my P, and notice it automatically gives me the code hints. And so now we have it creates the P and the closing P tag automatically for you. And that's what you want. And so if I go into design, you'll see after there is nothing. So let's go back into here and we'll say, now we have something. And I know I spelled something wrong. Story of my life. Go into design. And now we have something in here. So now you're going, man, why do I have all of this space between here and there? I have no idea. Go back into code and I'll go, oh, look at this. I have this paragraph here, so I can get rid of it. And we'll go back in here. So you'll find that code view is very, very good. Now, one thing you want to notice is the space between in here. That is a default from CSS. Again, you'll learn more about CSS. So let's click on Save. And that is our quick and concise tour of opening up your first document.